back to the north. Hopefully it's running. We're going to confirm that right now. Hopefully everything is going to function. We get the chat window up. And it's going to be a big cleaning today. Okay, so here we go. Take two action. Yeah, I had a visitor, so I had to just when I was going to get started, so I had to pause it for a while. But I'm back. Sounds like the audio is working. Okay, so here we go. So there we go. Okay. So I got to do a deep clean. I got to clean the glass. I got to do all the filters, the whole 9 yards. Gravel vac, fresh water. It still looks great in there, but it's time. I was lazy, and this tank those water's 5 days old. The glass hasn't been dealt with for 2 weeks, and so it needs a real good run. You may think I'm going to feed him. That scared somebody. No bouncing off walls, please. The bucket's ready. The glass off. Glass lid off. I'm going to be redoing this whole setup. This kitchen's going to be transformed. I'm going to double the water volume for the Discus. I'm going to move the barrels out, replace them with tanks. And it's just going to look incredible when I'm finished. All the space I need for breathing and then some. At least to get started. We got Dragon Dad with us. Just get underway here. My hands will rinse off. Make sure that's okay. Just a good rinse. Always a good idea before you start sticking your hands in stuff. So, salt level's pretty high. So, you kind of have to start gravel that for a second and then turn off the salt. We're about to dig in there. I'm wondering if I should do the glass first. I should do the glass first before I mark everything up so I can see well. And I got the new UV light in. Comes in the same box as my other ones, so it's definitely the same factory. But this one has a timer on it. It does 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, and 24 hours. I'll be running 24, of course. Hello, Michael. Good to see you, sir. And Mr. Paul Scott from Ohio. Glad to see you here. Hope you can all hear me really well. If I move the phone over there, we'll get a better... Your snails, what kind of snails? Do you know what kind they are? Snails will breed. They all breed. I've got assassin snails in my tank to make sure no other snails can exist. And then the assassin snails, like they call them that because they kill other snails. They multiply more slowly than most other ones. So after I have like 100 or more, I sell them because they're worth a lot. But yeah, if you've got a pest snail, you're going to need something like assassin snails to sort out your problem. Because the pest snails, you'll get thousands of them, and it'll happen fast. They'll just explode. And there's several species of pest snail. Great. Thank you on the sound check. Working on lighting the smoke here. Have a quick little smoke before I get my hands wet. And set up some equipment. Oh, hydras, yeah. Yeah, try the assassin snails. I had probably like over 1,000 Malaysian cone snails at one point. If you go back in my video history, you'll see it. It was horrible. It looked like a plague in my tank. I bought 6 assassin snails. It took them about a month and a half. They wiped them all out, and then they multiplied. And then now I probably have close to 100 already. I like to get about 150 of them, and then I'll sell off 100 of them, and I get close to $3 a pop from pet shops for them. So your assassin snails, your pest snails are worthless, but the assassin snails, they'll make you some money. And they breed real good in my Discus tank, and they don't hurt my fish. You don't end up with thousands, and they blend in with my gravel, so I almost never see them. Yeah, they'll go through the substrate, but I wouldn't depend on them for it. Like all snails will move through the substrate. My eel does that. My eel swims through the substrate. It'll dive into it and move around all through it. So in my tank, that's who stirs up my substrate, is the eel. But then I do regular gravel vacuuming like I'm about to do now. And I don't like leaving substrate sit for too long. Mine gets cleaned every week. That's why I keep it thin, because if you follow the mantra of other people and you go with the thick substrate, you don't have enough water in your tank to clean it properly. That's what happens to you, and it's just a pain in the butt. You keep it like just low and 2-inch 50-50 sand and gravel, you won't have any problems. It's really easy to clean. It only takes you maybe 2-3 buckets and you're done. They eat so much. Yeah. Hey, you got to stay on that maintenance. Oh yeah. You see, that's why yeah. It's the hydras. The hydras are a sign of you're starting to suffer some water quality issues. They might have come in if you're feeding brine shrimps. They come in with the brine shrimp for some reason. Baby brine shrimp eggs. So if you're hatching those out, you might got your hydras in that way too. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the father fish tank. One thing I could tell you to do that'll kill life forms in your water column is get one of these crazy UV bulbs. Make sure you use it properly and do your research because they're dangerous and they can blind you. But you'll start killing all the microbes in your water column. I would get away from. I don't know. That's my recommendation is to stay away from the father fish method. But it's up to you. If you're having a good time with that and you like the hydras and all the rest of it that comes along and the soupy water, but when that'll get old for you one day, and then I would say take your substrate down, rinse all the mud out, rinse it right out, get down to sand and gravel only, and then put just literally my substrate's barely climbing above the lower rim of my aquarium. You know what I'm saying? It's minimalistic. It's 2 inches tops. That's all you need. It's even shallower in my Oscar tank because Oscars are really messy. Like Discus are pretty messy. So the Oscars might only have an inch of the same mix because I want the poop to get picked up by the filter, not sit down there in the substrate. That's a bad idea. And never cleaning your substrate, just letting it sit there and fester. Stuff's going to work its way down, and that's not good. It might do some interesting things for several months and make, because it'll create an anoxic layer down below there, but that's not the way to do it, to do an anoxic setup, and it's actually a time bomb. You're at risk of killing all your fish, but that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right, but that particular tank set up that particular way, it's a time bomb. And you're only going to have so much time before it goes off. On average, with half decent maintenance, most people can make them last a year and a half, even up to 2 years. But the time bomb will go off if you're not cleaning substrate, and it's super thick. I wouldn't. You could, but you know what's going to happen to the Oscars? They're going to get a hole in the head. That's what's going to happen to the Oscars. Plus, Oscars and plants don't mix. The Oscars will rip the plants up. They'll shred them. They'll play with them like toys. They'll rip them up and play football with them. So you'd have to find another method for Oscars for sure. I might work with baby Oscars for a little while. But once they get big like mine, those plants are done. They're shredded wheat. And if you don't need plants, then you don't need thick substrate. So I would definitely not run any manner of large Oscar. I would definitely not recommend you run it in that style tank at all. The only fish you want to put in that tank are like little neons, little fish, like rice fish and tiny little pretty fish, like guppies and stuff, because that's the right fish for the right tank kind of thing. If you put an Oscar in a tank like that, totally bad idea. Yeah, bad idea. My Discus, no, I've actually really slowed down. But I did just have a week of screwed up city tap water that threw them off, and I'm expecting they're going to kick in real soon. I've got to get these other tanks set up like next month fast because it's going to happen. Last year they seemed to slow down in the late winter, early spring as well, so maybe it's a seasonal. Could be screwing up my water somehow, but I don't think that's the case. They just go off when they want to. and you just got to keep them fed. As long as the females are nice and fat, they'll make eggs, and eventually they need to get rid of those eggs, and then a breeding cycle kicks in. And she'll lay eggs once she goes into cycle. She'll lay eggs every 6-7 days. So she lays a bunch and she fails. She's going to do it again a week later, and you'll get probably around four shots like that, and then she'll go out of cycle again. And that's what I've observed so far. And you never know when it's really going to happen. But I do have to buy some discus trace, and I use that to sort of trigger them. I haven't wanted to trigger them because I only have 20-gallon breeding stations, and I feel they're insufficient. It's a waste of time to put 2 big discus in a 20-gallon tank and expect their babies to hatch and live. That's why I'm going to set up the big 65-gallon tank with a 30-gallon on top, and then I'm going to link the 65 into my current 90 and the 30 into the 65. So there's going to be a loop just like downstairs, and I'm going to turn the whole system. And it's going to be over 200 gallons of continuous flow for all the discus, and then I'll be able to pull a pair out, drop it into 65. Because some of them don't like the small tanks, so you put them in a 65, they'll still feel comfortable and breed. And then I'll have the 30 for a second pair, and then I'm going to see how that works, because I'm going to use the 90 to do all the filtration for the other 2 tanks. My 90-gallon is so over-filtered, it will actually take care of all that water just fine. And then when I have to move fish around, they're not getting like pH shock or nothing's changing about the water. It'll stay comfortable, they'll breathe easy, the water will be sterile, it'll be clean, it won't foul, and I think that's going to make the babies live past 30 days. Once you get them to live past 30 days, you're home free with discus babies pretty much. You can sell them at that point with confidence once they're a month old. 2 inches is pretty good. Root plants. Yeah, you're getting that swamp tank smell. It'll get into your clothes and everything, but you don't want that. You'll be walking around smelling like your swamp tank, and you won't even know it. Everyone around you is gonna 4 feet away. They're gonna smell your swamp. It gets right. It's like cat litter getting right into your clothes and shit. You don't want that. You got a wife, she's gonna kill you as soon as her friends start telling her she smells like a swamp. And if you're single looking for ladies, well, I don't know. Keep that in mind. They all got good noses. That'll get right into your shit. Okay, I guess I better get my butt moving and start cleaning some glass. But I will be watching the chat. I'll be checking over my shoulder. My responses may slow down the tap as I get busy here. We started the glass, now we're going to shut down all the filters and heaters and whatnot. Look, they don't even want me to work. They're like, give me food. Come on, buddies, move. I'm always worried about scaring them, because if they jump out, they're dead, They'll jump 6 feet in the air, these guys, and then they'll hit the ground. Be a 10-foot drop, and they're just dead. Never like having the tank open. Always keep a lid on your discus. They're not afraid of me at all. They get to know you. I also feed them out of my hands a lot, so my hands are like a positive thing in their eyes. They're actually checking me out, wondering what the food is. This front glass I did 5 days ago, but the rest of it's really going to need a scrub. It's dirty. It's been getting dirtier because my sump was just nasty and my phosphates were up, but I've corrected that. You don't have to clean your sump all the time. It's kind of like running a canister. You can wait a while. Really just working on all this bio slime that builds up. A couple green spots here and there. Probably clean up your camera, huh? Make sure it looks nice. There you go. Look at the view a little bit. Not looking through bio sludge. These back panels would be the worst. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Can't really see it very well, but I can feel it. And with some vegetation, I gotta move back. It's old glass, so I don't push too hard on it because it's an old tank. And I'm very gentle when I do this. It's a very old tank. This tank's over 20 years old. But you use what you can get. And this is what I was able to get, so I'm using it. Have a look at the chat. Yeah, you see. And then he'll laugh at you. If you go and complain about not changing your water for 2 months because he told you so, he'll call you a woke zombie and a fool for listening to him, and basically, thanks for buying my jar of mud. What you need to do, Michael, you need to reset your tank. So what you do is you get whatever, how many ever 5 gallon buckets you need, fill them up with your tank water and move your fish into the buckets temporarily. If you've got a little air stone you can run in the buckets, and maybe even small heaters, just to keep them happy. But you don't need to heat, probably don't need to heat them because it won't take you that long, maybe an hour, maybe 2 tops. Then you got to go in and you've got to drain out all your water from the tank after you get your fish out. Put your plants in a bucket too, because you can still get them back in the cleaned up tank. And I would completely rinse out all of your substrate, whether it's gravel, sand, whatever you got. I would take that, put that in buckets, go out in the backyard, take the hose, and flush it until the water runs clean. And keep stirring and flushing. It'll take you a long time. It's going to take you probably 20 minutes per bucket, and flush it out good. And then I take that back in, put it back in the tank, set it up. Guess what? There'll still be lots of bio whatever in the sand when you're done, in the gravel. Don't worry about that. You got to reset that tank. Buy yourself some Sea Chem Stability, so you can put a few capfuls of bacteria in there just to help it out. Afterwards, just clean the whole damn tank up, and then whatever you're using, I'm guessing you probably got 1 sponge filter and it's like barely enough, because they tell you to do that too, right? So triple your filtration and deploy some UVC, as in UV-C bulb. That's the rating you're looking for. Don't just buy UV. Look for UV-C, because that's what kills like all the nasties. It's literally gonna sterilize your water, and then your house won't smell like a swamp anymore. Your tank will be beautiful. Your water will look crisp and clear like mine does, and your fish will be healthy and fat. Your plants will grow beautifully, and they won't have moss all over them. They won't have algae growing all over your plants and looking like hell. Everything will improve. Everything will improve. It's basically snake oil sales tactics that's going on over there, and a lot of people are getting hurt exactly like you have. So that's how you get rid of the swamp smell. You got to rinse it right out of your tank. Basically reset your tank and pick your filtration game way up. Drop some assassin snails in there to get rid of your snail problem. And it'll all work itself out in about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks after you do everything I just said, you'll be able to rerun this live, so you can write down what you need to do there. But 2 weeks after, if you do everything on that checklist, your tank will look absolutely amazing. And be easy to look after. A lot easier than it is right now. Like, sure, you're going to have to do more water changes, but that's part of the hobby, bud. I enjoy this part of the hobby. And then when you're done and you look at the cleaned up, like the next day when you look at the tank after you've done your maintenance, very fucking rewarding. Like, you're like, yeah, you're proud of yourself. You know, nobody's proud of themselves for staring at a 4-month-old swamp on their shelf. That doesn't do shit for you. That's just something in the background. It's not helping you. You could have just bought one of those video picture frames and put a tank on the shelf that way, if you didn't want to do anything. Maintenance is part of the deal. You gotta learn to love it. Maintenance is actually good for you. While I'm cleaning my tanks, if I'm having a bad day, I start doing maintenance, I feel way better when I'm done. Way better. Jesus. Okay. I don't think I've finished my scrubbing yet, so let's get back to that. Still got some of that back glass to work on. Those things. Lucky I got long arms. Most people would need a stick to get down here. It's not all fun being tall. You bang your head a lot. It gets annoying. This tank's going to look incredible tomorrow. I got a brand new UV bulb going in with this maintenance cycle too. It's sitting on the shelf just waiting to, hopefully it's not like defective and it actually turns on because I ordered it from China. But we'll get there. Not, I'll get another one in here. Short order. This tank needs a new bulb. That's why I have to scrub this so hard. There's more algae than there would be if that bulb was good. It could have been my dirty sump though. I just don't know. So I do them all. I have two variables. Oh, the sump is probably driving up my phosphates, which is bringing up my algae, or my UV bulb's dying. How do I know which one it is? I don't have a way to test for phosphates. I can buy it. There are kits for it. I just don't have it. So screw it. I just change them both. I just deal with both possible causes, and the end result will be back to perfection. Okay, so now I'm going to start the gravel back. I'm thinking the glass is probably looking pretty decent now. I must have missed some spots back here, I think. Let's just get up there. That's enough of that. Time for gravel back. It's not that dirty today. At least not on this side. It'll be worse on the other side. Which is good. I don't have to go to town on it. It's been pretty clean this past week. So my sump, I don't know. The phosphates were definitely up, and I've definitely brought them down. Because it was unusually dirty 5 days ago. Here we go. We're getting some dirt in this side of the tank now. Because I feed them over here, so there's going to be a lot more crud as I get down this way. Yeah, there we go. That's why I do it every week. Even though that side looks clean, this side looks nasty. Lots of poop. Lots of poop. They do poop. They eat and they poop like every hour and a half to 2 hours. So there's a lot of poop from these fish. Bucket number 1. Say that. Bucket number 1 gone. I might only need to do 2 buckets this week. It's not taking me terribly long. Oh shit. Took too much out of the sump. So I forgot to shut the stuff down. Oh, I gotta send more water down there now. Not good. So I'm going to just unplug everything at this point. And let the overflow fill the sump a bit. All heaters and filters and sump pumps been disabled. We just got air going there right now. I brought down the sump further than I wanted to. So we'll top that up before we continue. Excuse me. Okay, we're flowing. I'll start filling. Stop my own show there. Okay, back to siphoning. I gotta make sure I don't overflow that sump while I do this. Stop that. Stop fill in a sec. And that's good enough for this too. Oops. There we go. Drained. All the way. That sounds nice. Okay, now I'll remove the filters and start the drain. This thing is great. I love this filter. Now we'll get the hose in place for the drain. My 800 plus gallon per hour pump. Put this in the tank. It always works out better when I move it across. Like so. Okay, drain's on the way. Drain is underway. I got one more filter to pull. Actually, I cleaned that one not too long ago on the way to beat. Might as well switch out this new light. Back there, shut this one off. Unplug it. I'm gonna go stick this old UV in the Oscar setup. There we go, now that bulb's running on the Oscars. I think it still works. It's better than nothing. They got nothing right now. And I'm not putting the new one down there. I'm putting the new one up here. So that just makes sense. I will always put the newest one in the Discus tank. I'm just going to throw it in there and pray it works. It should. So you got to fix that sponge I used to deflect the light. Kind of moved. Yeah, I wouldn't say the cord got really any longer on this model. This model has a timer. Like I said, I'm just running and run it 24/7. Anyhow, it seems like you definitely have a timer. That'll do a better job shielding the one me from the light. I use a sponge to shield it. I'm going to get more of this sponge in there too, so it's really shielded. Even more so. One battle at a time over here. Can't do it all at once. Get that light down in that. Now that's all. Right by it. Start to fill in a second. We get this thing plugged in. Hopefully the cord's longer, not shorter. I think that might be the case. It's a little longer. Let me let's have a tangle there. Okay. There's those limbs. Help me out again. There it is. It's in place. It's operational. Now, back to the filters, but I do have to start filling this tank. So, we fill the tank, and we go back to the filters. We're almost done. Prime the water. Thanks, Philip. New UV's in. Oscars have UV again. We're on a roll. Primes in. Back to filters. Motor's looking good. Heater's coming on. Temperature's good. Heaters are active. Oh, damn it. Shit's still running. Stove done. Switch barrels. Some media balls all over the ground. This aside. Now the males are chasing each other around, so they're enjoying their fresh water. Who knows? They might try and lay eggs. There we go. That's one. Good fit. 30 filters. I gotta stop this fill. Oh my god. Yeah, stop it. Pull this hose. Close the barrel. Make the hose safe. And start everything up. Oh my god, I thought I was going to lose glass there. That was stupid. Okay. Start the top up at least. Okay, so the sump's active, that way I won't overflow. It's looking good. Things happening. Back to filters. Install this media. Don't forget something. These filters were messy. I left them for a while. Put them back in action here. You can also start plugging in these corner guys. Ooh. Oh, that didn't go well. Greg, quiet. Stop whining. Busy. These kids. Hooker, it's a little tricky. There we go. Here. Going over the other glass a bit. One more filter left. How's that one running? Looks like it's doing pretty good. Oh, Greg, you're all so bored. Life miserable. Get that last filter done. filter. Last one. There you go. Filter's all flushed out. Bottom media all cleaned up. Gravel all cleaned up. Water all cleaned up. I just got to close up the top and we're done. Oops. Kind of dilly-dally. It's a little longer than it should have been. That's okay. I needed to take my time today and be thorough. Didn't get too much water on the floor. I guess that's a win. And, just gotta put the lid back on. Top. Faux wood cover. They are finished, my friends. We'll give a little snack, because they're done. Pellets. Oh no. Froze my palm. Sit for a minute. That's a wrap. Murk will clear after the filters run for about 20-30 minutes, and it's going to look beautiful in the morning. Thank you so much for watching. That's another Discus deep clean with Discus North.